I've been dreaming of a true love's kiss.
Oh, hey!
Growing up, we've heard these tales 1,000 times. Heroic rescues, damsels in distress, evil stepmothers, and of course, the romance. This is what makes Disney princess movies timeless classics. Now, growing up in a family with 5 boys and 1 girl who happens to be the youngest, you may wonder why we would have watched these Disney princess movies. Well, I'm still wondering that to this day. But the point is that we did, and it got me thinking. How would I have reacted if I was in these situations? Or any guy for that matter. And now here we are. If Disney princesses were dudes. By Matthew Crory. All right, so the first fairy tale we're going to look at today is that of Cinderella. Or if Cinderella was a dude, would be known as Cinder Evan. Now, Cinder Evan wants to go to the princess's dubstep dance party with his friends, mostly because there's going to be cute girls there. But his evil, evil stepmother wouldn't let him go. She was really just showing some common sense in this situation, but we all know how that appears to teenage guys. Now, being a stubborn individual as Cinder Evan was, he went to the ball anyways. He didn't need fairy godfathers or pretty dresses to feel good about himself. He went wearing sweatpants and a v-neck. Now, once he got to the ball, he tried some of his best pickup lines on the waiting lasses.
Hey there, did you hurt yourself when you fell from heaven?
Did you? Because it looks like you landed on your face! Just then, the music began to play.
Oh, this is my jam! Mozart Symphony number 36!
And what he didn't know was that the princess was hosting this ball with the secret intentions of trying to meet a true dance master. She immediately honed in on Cinder Evan dancing across the room and joined him in dancing up a storm. But just then, Cinder Evan looked at his watch.
Holy moly, it's 7:30! The game is on at 8! Oh, if I leave right now, I might be able to make it back before the national anthem!
Wait, where are you going? I didn't even catch your name! In his rush to leave, Cinder Evan lost one of the Air Jordans that he was wearing. The princess was left with nothing but that shoe and broken dreams. But she didn't let that stop her, no. She was determined to set off across the kingdom and learn the ways of this true dance master. Oh. She was determined to try the shoe on every eligible male that she could find. Now, unfortunately, since Cinder Evan was a generic shoe size, the shoe fit on the very first person she came in contact with. She learned nothing of his 6 dance moves, and some random guy got a free Air Jordan. The end. Okay, the next Disney dude we're going to look at today is that of Aurora from Sleeping Beauty, or, as Aurora would be known, Anthony. Now, Anthony was just a normal boy strolling about his father's castle one day when he discovered an old record player and his father's collection of vinyls. In his excitement, he went to rip one out and throw it on the record player. But he was rushing, and he pricked his finger on the little needle thing. And what he didn't know is that in his father's younger days, he had tried to quit listening to these addictive devices and had a spell cast on the record player that could only be broken by true love's kiss. Again, sorry. Now, Anthony fell into a deep, deep sleep, almost appearing to be dead. And since no sensible girl would ever kiss a dead-looking stranger because that is incredibly creepy, he remained asleep forever. The end. Okay, so now, speaking of incredibly creepy, we have the story of the beautifully unrealistic Jasmine from Aladdin. Now, as Jasmine would be known if she was a guy, Jasper. Now, Jasper is an interesting predicament. He's being forced to find a princess to marry, or else he's going to have to marry his father's advisor, a creepy older woman. Yes, it does sound messed up when you put it that way. That's because it is. Luckily, he stumbles upon someone of esteemed values in the marketplace. Street rat! Scoundrel! Aha! You are exactly the type of girl my parents would hate. You're perfect for me. Yes, Jasper is just a rebellious teenager. There was no need for a genie in this story since he was rebellious and fell in love with the first girl he came in contact with. Fast forward a few days, and he may have come on a bit too strong. I can show you the world. You're incredibly creepy. Oh, wait, come back. I know I just met you, and this is crazy, but I'm a prince. Marry me, maybe. The end. All right, so now we have the story of Mulan. Now, let's get this straight. Mulan is a princess who's a girl who's trying to pretend to be a guy so she can get into army. Okay,
So if Mulan was a guy, and that would be a prince, there's a guy trying to pretend to be a girl so we can get into a fashion show? Okay, you know, we're going to skip this one. The dreaded 2014 brought upon the world Frozen Fever. Now, in this movie, the heroine, Elsa, or as she would be known, Eli, takes quite a dramatic turn after Anna and Eli's parents died. Eli decided that he wanted to be cool, but before it was cool. So Eli became a hipster. Eli, do you want to be a hipster? His internal struggles over whether or not to grow a beard and a man bun invokes the epic manly power ballad when he finally decides to let it grow, let it grow, can't hold it back anymore. Ultimately, his beard grew to be so epic that it was never shaven, and he turned into one of the bears from Brave. The end. All right, so now the next story we're looking at is the beloved Rapunzel from the Disney movie Tangled. Now, Rapunzel is known for having golden locks flowing in every direction, looking as though nothing could tame it. Well, we practically have an example of this in Donald Trump. So, for namesake, this Disney dude will be called Trumpunzel. Now, don't think that because it's named after Donald Trump, there'll be any similarities other than the name. If there are, it's purely a coincidence. Now, Trumpunzel was a sheltered homeschooler. Not because he chose the homeschooling life. Not because it chose him either, but because a creepy old man was locking him away in Trump Tower, was trying to harvest his golden Trump locks for Trump power. It's a sad Trump life. Anyways, back to being a sorry homeschooler. Trumpunzel wore hand-me-down jeans that were 2 sizes too big. And either he wasn't aware of deodorant, or quite frankly didn't care because, whoo, he was ripe. Now, being sheltered and alone, he spent most of his time daydreaming about pirates, ninjas, and the magical females. Now, he had never actually seen a female, but he's been told they're the most beautiful things in creation. We tried to picture the most beautiful thing he could imagine. His pet frog. If females were like human versions of frogs, he couldn't wait to meet one. Well, sure enough, he was going to get his chance because one day, a daring young girl named Clinton Ryder appeared at Trump Tower. How daring was she, you might ask? Daring enough to delete all of her emails before heading over. Now, Clinton never actually made it to Trump Tower due to the large wall that had been built around the edge. Paid for, in fact, by the neighboring kingdom. Thus, Trumpunzel never got to meet a female and he remained forever alone. The end. Okay, now the final Disney dude we're going to be looking at today is Bill from Beauty and the Beast. Now, Bill is a nerd. Bill has watched everything in the Netflix library. Twice. He once binge-watched Doctor Who for 6 days straight. How much Doctor Who, you ask? All of it. That's okay, that will totally help him out later in the plot. Who am I kidding? That's not going to help anyone. Now, Bill's mother had 18 kids and lived in a shoe, and... sorry, wrong story. That's my mom. Bill's mother was crazy, though. She finally lost it while waiting for the 4th season of Sherlock. So the story picks up when she's on her way to cosplay at Comic-Con when she gets lost because she's trying to use Google Maps as a GPS. Now she stumbles upon the castle of a terrible, awful, no good, very bad beast, where she's promptly taken captive. Now Bill decides that rescuing his mother is what the doctor would do. So he sets out to save her. Once he got to the castle, it took him about 5 minutes to find where his mother was secretly being held captive. And he would have gotten there sooner had there not been a giant musical number rehearsal going on when he first arrived. Be all gas, put your service to the dishes, you are late again. So unpredictable. You didn't think all those musical numbers just happened on the spot, did you? Now, when Bill laid eyes upon the beast, his legs locked up. He froze, he started moving slow. So slowly that everyone there mistook him for U.S. Congress. He was disgusted that something this ugly could actually exist. It's like all the villains from Star Trek meet Lady Gaga's meat dress. Bill's mother exclaimed, "Bill, flee from here, save yourself, go home, don't worry about me, go." Now, since Bill was an obedient young man, he listened to his mother and went home, just in time to catch the latest episode of 19 Kids and Counting. He never saw his mother again. The end. Oh, well, that's the last of these Disney dudes. If you'll excuse me, I'm off to find a princess to help save. Oh, hey there, princess. That's a nice dress you got there. And those shoes, girl, that must have been expensive. You know, come to me next time, I'll get you a discount at Walmart. See, I told you I'd find a princess to help save. Cha-ching.